everybody, and welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema. I am your host, the Indian Cinemaniac, back with another 15 to 20-minute review. I want to welcome you over 2,000 maniacs who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. And our next goal is 2,500. And I think with your help, we're going to get there. Okay. By the way, we just celebrated Thanksgiving here, and I'm thankful for all you maniacs out there. There you go. I said it. Okay, so the film that I am reviewing today was a bummer film. I don't mean that like I didn't like it, but it was kind of sad. Now, the person who recommended it said that I would cry. Well, I did not cry. I will tell you I was depressed as hell at the end of the movie. Now, the good news is, well, let me tell you what the movie is. It's Saptha Sagardaache Ello, Side A, Somewhere Beyond the Seven Seas. I hope I pronounced that right. I got excuse me. I got to tell you, the write up of it had one spelling, and then the thumbnail had a different spelling. So I'm not sure which is which. I mean, maybe it's the language. I'm not 100% sure. It was recommended by, and I love this name, by the way. It's Anti Soups Suck Ass. Anti Soups Suck Ass. Now, I hope you don't mean Superman, because as you can see, I am a big Superman fan. So I hope that's not what you mean. But he recommend, excuse me, this film was recommended by them, and he did. And I'm saying I'm not sure if it's a he or not. That I would be sad, I would cry. As I said, I didn't cry, but I it was a bummer of a movie, but in a good way. It was directed by Hemanth M Rao, who also wrote it. It stars Rakshit Shetty, who I don't think I've seen before. Rukmini Vasanth, who is very good in this, who was in the original, who was in a movie I just watched, Kantara, A Legend. Chaithra J Achar, Avinash, Achyuth Kumar, and Ramesh Indira. And I'm pretty sure I haven't seen any of these actors, and this is a Kannada film, so that could be why. Now, the script written by the director was actually written in 2006. And much like Sylvester Stallone in the original Rocky, studios wanted this film, but he only wanted to sell the story if he could direct. So it took this long, actually 2023, for him to get the approval to direct it. So it is side A, and I already know side B is out and streaming. And I plan on watching that. I watched this film last night. I plan on watching side B tomorrow. I didn't watch it tonight because the New England Patriots are playing football and they just kicked the New York Giants' butt on Monday Night Football. So I'm going to watch side B tomorrow night, and I'll have that review pretty quickly too. Now, this film, knowing that it sets up the sequel, I I cut it a little slack about the story because a lot of things were left hanging that I'm sure will be solved in the second movie. So the story is about a young couple, um, Manu and Priya, who are in love. And I will tell you that I really enjoyed their relationship. It was a very realistic relationship, I thought, and I thought they had great chemistry together. Now it opens up with them driving a Mercedes. He's speeding, and she wants him to stop the car because he's going too fast and driving like a maniac. And that obviously sets up the fact that he's a bit reckless, which will come back to haunt him. Well, you find out he's a driver. It wasn't his car. And they're looking to get married, and they're looking for a house. And it's kind of cute. She calls him dude a lot, and also idiot. But the idiot is her pet name for him. It's never done in a malicious way. It's always done in a cute kind of love story way. Um, and that's so the first, not the first half, but a good, we'll say the first third of the film is their love story. She's in school. She's also a singer. Um, he's a driver, and he's trying to make enough money to buy a house. Excuse me, I'm coughing. So she at one point goes on a vacation where she's going to a place on the ocean where she went as a child. They even flash back to her childhood with her father, who's no longer around, at this same place. And then they start talking about getting a house on the water and what would that cost, blah blah blah. So now he realizes he needs more money than he has. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful love story with her mother and, in their relationship and her singing and how much they love each other. Well, then all of a sudden there's a hit and run. Now, unless I missed something, when it first happened, I thought it was Manu because Manu was racing to meet her down somewhere. They were gonna. I think they were going to a movie. So then the next scene is this hit and run where not only does this person get hit one way, the person backs up and hits him again and then takes off. So right away you think it's Manu, but it's not. It's the son of a very powerful person. They keep calling him the boss. And the guy, the kid's name was what was it, Prietha or something like that. I know I wrote it down somewhere here. I guess I didn't write it down. I thought I did. So now there's this big discussion with the big boss, Manu's boss, the mother of this kid who killed this person, and they're going to cover it up. So, how are they going to cover it up? They're going to get someone to take the fall. Someone's going to confess to it. And they want to do it for 15 lakhs, but he says he'll do it for 35. So the boss agrees to a deal and tells him that by doing this, you'll be in jail for 6 months, but I will owe you for the rest of your life. I will take care of you for the rest of your life. So he agrees to it. Now, he doesn't tell Priya he's going to do this till after he agrees to it. And obviously, she flips out. What are you, crazy? What are you doing this for? So, as you can probably imagine, not the most original storyline in the world, but once he gets arrested, things aren't going to go well because that's what usually happens in movies like this. Okay? So once he goes to court and then goes to jail, the film becomes really a prison movie. How is this innocent guy going to survive prison? And will the relationship still be able to hold? Because he's in jail while the court case is still going. Now, I don't understand the Indian justice system, how it works, but how long he's like in this holding jail till he can go to court and can he get bail? So now here's where at first I thought it was predictable because I thought the big boss was going to end up screwing him once he says he'll take the rap and let him languish in prison. Well, that's not what happened. This guy's an honorable guy, and he says he's going to do what he promised he would do. And that's why Manu is going to keep his promise to him. Well, the big boss ends up having a heart attack and dies. So now the wife of him and Manu's direct boss, the direct boss turns on Manu and says, if he gets out of jail, your son's going to be in trouble. So we got to make sure he doesn't get out of jail. So now he goes to court, and all the while this is happening, Priya is trying to prove his innocence with a lawyer, hiring a lawyer, because the lawyer that was originally hired by the big boss is now off the case because they don't want him to do it. Okay? You with me so far? So now it becomes this, how does this innocent guy who is stuck in this jail and is probably going to be stuck there for a while, how's he going to deal with it? Well, first he goes to one gang in there who's got his back because they want to have a relationship with the big boss. So they give him privileges, they take care of him. But once he dies, he's of no use to them and everything changes to the point that they end up beating the crap out of him. Now he goes to another gang that the first guy said stay away from. And these guys were both good. Now, Soma, played by Ramesh Indira, was the first a gang leader who befriended him and then turned on him. And then the other one, I'm not sure who it was because when I looked it up, I couldn't find the name. There was no photo. So I'm really not sure who it was. And I don't know the character's name where I knew Soma's name, but they were both very good. Um, but it was pretty. It was pretty. It was a difficult watch the way he was getting treated. I mean, he got really beat up, and then he realizes because he's going to be in jail for 10 years now. And Priya's mother came to him and said, "Look, she's not singing anymore. All she's focusing on is you." So he writes her a letter and says, "Look, you got to move on. I'm going to be here. I want you to live your life." And of course, that goes back and forth, and that's heartbreaking. She doesn't want this to end, and she keeps coming to visit him, but he won't come out. At one point, he calls her and talks to the brother, says, "Don't tell her I called," because she's now, after this all happens, she's getting married. And she doesn't want to get married. You can tell when they show her with a groom, she doesn't want to be there. And they even have the wedding. Um, and he ends up getting transferred to a different prison. And then they cut 10 years later, where he's literally getting out of prison. And then they set up the sequel. Now, as far as the story goes, the story was a 3 because this is not a new story. An innocent man put in jail, how it changes him, right? That's not a new thing. So that's why I'm only giving it a 3 because it's I've seen this a lot. Now, as far as the performances go, again, I've seen, I'm pretty sure I've seen almost none of these actors before, but the two leads, Manu and Priya, I thought I thought were really good in this. Uh, very realistic portrayals. No silly over the top stuff that you get in a Bollywood film. I believe their chemistry, their heartbreak, his heartbreak when he realizes, he's going to be there for 10 years. He can't do that to her. Her heartbreak that they're over and there's nothing she can do about it. And it's like I said, it's heartbreaking, the pain that they felt. And I really liked a lot of the side characters too. The jail people especially. Now the guy playing the guy who turned on him, Prabhu, Achyuth Kumar, I believe, played him. He comes across in the beginning like, he's like almost a father figure to Manu. Well, now that he turned on him, to me, okay, is the sequel going to be a revenge thing? First of all, is he going to find Priya, who I assume is married in the second one because she was getting married in this one. But is it going to be a revenge thing? Is he going to get back on the people like the mother, the young kid who actually killed the hit and who did the hit and run? I don't know, but I thought the performances were really, really good. I gave the performances a 4. Um, as far as the music goes, now the thing about films like this, there was not there was no musical numbers that didn't fit within the story. Like she got up and sang, but that was part of the story, right? So the first song is actually over the opening titles, and it's River, Oh My River, and it's a love song, and it introduces you to Manu and Priya. The second song is when she's on stage singing, and he's in the balcony watching her sing and whistling because he loves her and he's proud of her, and that was a cute little scene. The third song, and these are all background songs, not musical numbers. The third song is as he's arrested, and there's a line that says, "It's your fate to fulfill." Um, the fourth song, and it was kind of I can't say it was rap. I think it was more hip hop, but it's a song where Manu is now interacting. He's part of the new gang, and Priya quits school and gets a job to help pay for the lawyer to get him out. So the scene cuts back and forth with this song. The fifth song, she goes to prison to visit. He doesn't show. This is after he sent her the letter that they were splitting up. And it's her waiting there and no one showing up and the look of anguish and pain on her face. And the final song is at her wedding. And the song is Beyond the Sea, which, by the way, is a Bobby Darin song, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, but not this one. Um, and that, during the song, that goes from the wedding to Manu, who has been put in all this pain, goes after the first bad guy, Soma, and just wails on him. I mean, he kept smashing his ear and blood was gushing out. So he and a couple guys come to help Samu Soma, excuse me, Soma, and he beats them. Well, then after the big boss is down, like 10 guys show up and surround him and just wail on him. And there's blood everywhere, and they bring him into the hospital, and he's got blood there. But it was, and then and so the music was fine. The music, I have to tell you that the music was more poetry than music because the lyrics did have subtitles, and it was telling the story of the particular scene, but it was very poetic. But again, it didn't bowl me over, it didn't hurt it, so I gave the music a 3. Now, overall, look, this is like Empire Strikes Back. There's going to be another one. So the ending of it is unsatisfactory because you want to know what happens, which is, I guess, is good because now it makes me want to watch that movie much quicker than I normally would, which I'm going to do. So on that, for the type of movie it was, I gave the movie a 4, and I'm hoping that the sequel will tie up some loose ends. And obviously, you want them to get back together. You want him to get revenge on the people that took the 10 years from him, an innocent man. Now, I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but I hope the ending is more uplifting than this because this wasn't. I can't say it wasn't an emotionally sad movie, but it was a depressing movie. Once he goes into jail, and you got an innocent man who was trying to do the right thing for the right reasons, that it completely went upside down and ruined his life. And that's sad. Now, they do set up the side B because they show like a little preview, and he looks so different. It's 10 years later, and I'm not sure when the second one was filmed. I assume it's 1 or 2 years later, but he looked a little heavier. His hair was, he's got this beautiful mane of hair like most Indian actors do. I'm very jealous of that. But it was cropped, but with a full beard, and he looked, his face looked a little fuller. He looked a little bigger. So I'm really looking forward to the second one. So that's my take on that film. If you haven't seen it, again, I tell people this. I did this with another film. If you're depressed, do not watch this film. Okay? It is not going to make you feel any better. Maybe the first half hour will, but not the rest of the movie. So, Anti Soup Suck Ass. I hope I did your movie justice. I enjoyed that. I really did. So while I'm at it, why don't I also give you my recommendation? Okay, keeping with the prison theme, However, very different because the person in this film was not innocent. He was innocent, but he wasn't innocent of the crime he did. But it is a great film in its 1994's The Shawshank Redemption, based on a Stephen King book called Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption. It's directed by Frank Darabont, who bel- uh, who adapted Stephen King's story, and Stephen King said it was the best adaptation of one of his books. It stars Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, James Whitmore, Bob Gunton as the awful prison warden, Clancy Brown. It's it's a it's such a good movie for so many different. Obviously, the performances are unbelievable, starting with Tim Robbins, who is who goes through hell in this prison, but is still a little bit optimistic. Why? Because he's got a plan. Now, you don't know what the plan is till the very end, but once the plan is revealed, um, it's talk about a satisfying ending. And when Morgan Freeman comes walking down that beach at the end of the movie, um, it's a wonderful scene. Two men who love each other, and respect each other. And Morgan Freeman helped him get through prison by basically taking care of him. And the cast is so good. James Whitmore, who's an older actor, was heartbreaking in this because he finally gets out of prison after so many years and doesn't know what to do with himself because he's never not been in prison. And the end result is he can't survive. And it's tragic. He ends up killing himself. But the scene
I remember thinking
where the reveal is when the warden figures out what he did, and then they show Andy Dufresne going through the sewage and coming out at the end, very very biblical, in the rain. And Indian movies, you guys love the rain, and there's lightning, and he's out there, and he's got his hands outstretched, very messianic. No, messianic. Is that how you say it? Messianic. Um, but just that is one of the most satisfying endings of a film, that just sticks in my head when the warden figures it out. Now they start mapping out exactly what Andy did, and Morgan Freeman does a voiceover on that. But if you get a chance to, I mean, there's a lot of other good ones too. Um, Paul Newman, Cool Hand Luke is another one, which is he's not innocent, but it's a prison movie. But the Shawshank Redemption, if you haven't seen it, check that one out, okay? And you can also do me this favor. Maybe you're new to the channel, I hope I've earned your subscription. And I'd also like you to hit the notification button. That way you'll know when these videos come out. And of course you got to smash the like button because that's about the algorithm. Like. And the last thing is to hit 2,500. I need you to share the video with people you might think enjoy this kind of content. I would really appreciate that. And you guys have been doing that. That's why the subscriptions have gone up. And I'm greatly appreciative of that. Seriously, I really, really am. I appreciate it. You guys seem to be appreciating the effort. It's funny. The more people that watch, the more comments you get, and some aren't so nice. But that's part of the gig, right? And I don't mind it. I do my best, and I try to get things right. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Um, and I will also say this: you're giving me some ideas on how to grow the channel, and that I really do appreciate. Because I've been doing this now for a couple of years, but I still haven't figured out. You got people with 1 million views. I don't know. And I know that you could watch things that will trend more, which I'm trying to do, but this whole show is built on you guys recommending films for me to watch, and I'm keeping it that way. Whether it's going to go viral or not, I don't care. If you recommend something and I can stream it, I'm going to watch it because I appreciate you taking the time to even do that. All right. Sorry, I'm getting a little philosophical. I don't want to do that to you, but it's because I appreciate it. I really do appreciate the loyalty to the channel. So thanks. Thanks, thanks, thanks. All right, that's it. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with another movie review, a trailer reaction, a song reaction, or something else. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.